Hello and welcome to Arsenal Analysed. I'm JC. I hope you're doing well. Today I bring you tactical analysis for Arsenal 2, Fulham 1, sitting pretty at the top of the league with a 100% record. How long will it last? But we'll be breaking down everything from the game at the Emirates in this video. And if you are looking forward to it, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe if you're new around here, and hang around until the end of today's video to hear a little more about a membership program that's just started on Arsenal Analysed. But without no further ado, let's jump into the basics. Starting with the lineup, there were actually a few surprises on this occasion. During my preview video, I had the Arsenal 11 that have featured in the first 3 games of the season. Unfortunately, Zinchenko and Thomas Partey were unavailable, more for precautionary reasons, and hopefully they should be fit for the upcoming game against Aston Villa, or worst case scenario, United at the beginning of September, which will be a huge game. With regards to individual performances, as the regulars know, we'll go through 3 players in a later part of today's video, but some other outstanding performances in my opinion. Aaron Ramsdale making a couple of very big saves, which could have certainly changed the course of the game. Ben White, he had another good game. Kieran Tierney coming in for Zinchenko, done very well. El Neni, likewise. Martinelli had a very good game, very direct again, one of the better attackers. And Saka has had an improved performance, in my opinion. Now, Mikel Arteta opted for only 3 substitutes in this game. And for me, one of the turning points was when Eddie Nketiah came on, completely changing those angles and the dimensions, moving forwards, given the amount of attacking players that we had on the pitch. Jesus did stay on until the 89th minute. So we did have 2 out-and-out attacking players, if you will, in Jesus and Nketiah. Although he did kind of veer out to the left at times, it was nice to see those 2 boys link up. Now, this is going to be not necessarily a problem moving forward, but given the style of football that Arsenal like to play, the system that Arsenal have implemented recently, similarly to Man City, definitely not at that level yet, but games where we are going to have significant levels of possession and find it difficult to break teams down who sit back, look to counter you, sit in those 2 low blocks, not really giving too much space between the lines, which we'll come on to shortly. But Arsenal did have 72% possession and only had 8 shots to show for it, which was far less compared to Fulham's 11. Now, shots-wise on target, very similar. However, our XG, so the types of chances that we did create, were far better compared to Fulham's at 2.47. So some good reading there. And if we have a look along the rest of this list, nothing really there that is a major concern for me, or even, for a matter of fact, a big positive. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Is there anything that you've noticed that is a big positive, whether it be lineup or match stats? When we do look at the top performers, more specifically statistics that you can see on the left-hand side, it is of no surprise to me that Mitrovic finished with the highest aerial duels, a player that we highlighted in the preview video, an absolute nuisance, a physical specimen. He did cause problems against the likes of Wolves and Liverpool, and I half expected the same in this game. So no surprises there. Odegaard with 8 successful ground duels was a bit of a surprise. Ream with interceptions 5, tackles Robinson 6. Again, just like last week, not 100% this time, but Saliba top of the shop for passing completion, not only with the most passes attempted, but also the highest completion rate at 94%. He is becoming an integral part of this team, giving Arteta some headaches, because at some point, Tomiyasu will be knocking on the door potentially. Does that mean that Ben White loses his place? Does someone get moved around at centre-back? Loads of really good headaches for Arteta. 5 key passes from Martinelli, who I believe was up there in the last video as well. When we played, he was up there with 4 or 5 key assists. He's becoming a very important player moving forwards. 3 completed crosses from Pereira, 5 completed dribbles from Martin Odegaard. And again, total shots, Martinelli 7 in total in this game. And I believe in our last fixture, he was also top of the shop for shots as well. So he really is getting amongst it and being a complete issue for those opposition players. Maybe in one of our future videos, he might even be featured as a danger man. Now, looking at Arsenal's shape and action areas here, looking at action areas first towards the bottom of this area, we can see here that Arsenal, again, just like previous weeks, really over relying on our width. And that's mainly because the two centre-backs are sitting quite high and allowing the likes of El Neni to sit just in front, and then our two full-backs are tucking in quite nicely, a little bit like inverted full-backs, if you will, allowing those attacking players, that front five, which in this case was Odegaard, Xhaka, Saka, Martinelli, and Gabriel Jesus. And you can see this is highlighted. That shape is highlighted yet again, that 2-3-2-3 type formation, or at times it's a 2-3-5 when we're really, really, really pushing it. But what happens is sometimes those fullbacks, they come from being inverted to your traditional wing backs on the overlap. Sometimes you'll see a Granit Xhaka or a Martin Odegaard pushing wide, allowing the likes of Saka and Martinelli to become inside forwards to support Gabriel Jesus. Sometimes it's Gabriel Jesus predominantly dropping out to that left-hand side, very different to what we had in Lacazette. It was very, very narrow between the 18-yard box and the halfway line. And Gabriel Jesus far, far busier, left, right, up, down. He's very, very, very good. So some very, very nice shape, a passing shape and heat maps there for the Arsenal boys. Fulham, on the other hand, we can see here very much looking like that sort of 5 at the back, 5-3-2 formation, very much set up to cause Arsenal problems, really frustrate them when Arsenal had the ball in and around that 18-yard box, which was very much the case for the entirety of that first half, in my opinion. Looking at the key moments, the obvious one for anyone who watched the game, we can see here in the top left-hand corner, picture number 1. Gabriel receives the ball from his right-hand side. It is a ball in the air, which he has to take down and control. But at this point, the part that I've freezed it at, for me, he's got 3 options. I've highlighted 2 of the options because they're, for lack of better words, the most sensible. So we can see here the arrow that looks like it's going into nowhere. Clear the ball, get rid of it. Don't try anything fancy. Don't try anything stupid. Worst case scenario, you feed the ball into Kieran Tierney, which is the lower red arrow. Yes, he's got pressure from behind him, but it's a little bit further away from the goal. If Fulham do win the ball back there, there's still a little bit of work to do for Fulham. And then if possible, there's an option, a third. You could go back to Aaron Ramsdale, who could then clear the ball. Unfortunately, as we can see here in picture number 2, Gabriel does lose the ball. He hesitates. I'm not too sure what his reasoning was for keeping hold of the ball for so long. Mitrovic wins the ball. Fair play to him. He's a nuisance, as we've already highlighted. He gets the ball, takes a shot at goal, and Arsenal are losing 1-0. Picture number 3 is the beginning of Arsenal's first goal, the response to going 1-0 down. And we can see here in picture number 3, the yellow arrow, which is Saliba feeding the ball into Bukayo Saka. Now, going back to the previous section, I mentioned that Fulham did at times have 5 at the back, 3 just in front, playing a low block, looking for that counter-attacking football. Now, for them, they're not as compact as they usually are. And we can see here between the lines, there are 5 Arsenal players. Now, Fulham should not be allowing Arsenal to have that much time and space for that many attacking players. What we can also see, as we've highlighted in previous weeks, and it is something that Arsenal have done very, very well on the left-hand side with when Zinchenko's playing, doubling up in that left half space with Granit Xhaka. Now, in this case, we can see here that Bukayo Saka's come inside, doubling up in that right half space with the likes of Martin Odegaard, and Ben White is providing that width. You can see that just to Bukayo Saka's right-hand side. So he is pulling Fulham players out of position. Now, as this move progresses, picture number 4, we can see here after Bukayo Saka picks up the ball, he drives towards the edge of the 18-yard box before laying it off to Martin Odegaard, who we can see in picture number 4 highlighted in the red circle. Yes, it does take a very nice deflection, wrong footing of Bernd Leno. But again, we can see here that there are many Arsenal players. Fulham completely out of shape. Martinelli here in the bottom left-hand corner, providing a 6th player in the Arsenal attack. And this is something that Arsenal have done very, very well since the start of the season, and something that Man City do very, very well too. And obviously, having had Arteta at City as assistant manager, there are starting to be some similarities between the two sides. Now, looking at the final goal of the game, the third goal, but the second for Arsenal. Picture number 1 here. The ball comes in from a corner. The ball pretty much goes past everyone. We can see here the Fulham defender goes for it. Gabriel goes for it. Leno goes for it. Everyone misses the ball. There were complaints that Saliba was impeding Bern Leno, but Gabriel probably couldn't believe his luck that we can see here in picture number 2. The ball falls to him and he has an empty net to put the ball in the back of the net. He quite literally goes from 0 to hero in a very, very short space of time. And I bet he had a huge sigh of relief, especially at the time of when this goal came. Not many minutes left on the clock. Now, in picture number 3 and 4, I've just highlighted some key moments for me and mentioning right back at the very beginning of the video that I thought Aaron Ramsdale was one of the key top performers in this game. Now, he was actually one of 4 players nominated for Arsenal Man of the Match, but he made 2 huge key saves for me, in my opinion. Picture number 3, we can see here the ball comes in from what I think is a corner. Mitrovic gets onto the ball, as I said, complete nuisance the whole game. And it was a great reaction save from Aaron Ramsdale. And then in picture number 4, it's a late free kick. The ball is currently flighting in towards that sort of back area there. A Fulham player wins the ball again, and it's another fantastic reaction save from Aaron Ramsdale. Now, these 2 efforts could quite easily have hit the back of the net, and this would have made the game 3-2, and it would have been a very, very awkward end to the game for Arsenal. But Aaron Ramsdale, who has faced a little bit of criticism, especially towards the end of last season, and for some of his decisions at the start of this season, he really, really did, in my opinion, step up to the plate and did very, very well against Fulham. Moving into my top performers in this game, William Saliba is featuring yet again. I did speak about him last week after our last performance, but he is just so good. Last week he got a goal. This week he's got an assist. He keeps going from strength to strength, and I very much doubt, unless he picks up an injury, that he will not feature in this back line. He will play every game this season if he is physically available and fit. 103 touches, the most for any Arsenal player, and as already highlighted, 94 passing completion, 1 key pass, 9 completed long balls. So his ability to open teams up and give different angles to this Arsenal team. We know Arsenal like to play with the ball around at the back before opening up certain opportunities, and his passing range and ability has really helped Arsenal in terms of progressing. 1 tackle, 1 clearance, and 3 duels won. I literally cannot wait to see where this boy goes in terms of his potential. Still question marks over a contract. Only 2 years left on his deal. Arsenal, go and get the contract sorted, please. Another player that we need to talk about is Gabriel. He is becoming a little bit of Marmite amongst the Arsenal fan base from what I've seen. Some fans think that there are better defenders out there, and if we are going to upgrade anyone at the back, it will be him. Others think he's an absolute beast. I'm veering more towards the beast. Yes, he's definitely got a mistake in him. Fortunately, yesterday when we played, although his mistake did bite us, it wasn't a point where we lost out on points, which was very, very grateful. Scored again, highest scoring defender last season, not just for Arsenal, but across the Premier League. And he's finally opened his account. 94 touches, 93 passing accuracy. And this is one of the big positives that we get from Gabriel. His passing range as well is absolutely fantastic. 1 key pass, 4 long balls completed, 3 tackles, 6 duels won, and 1 interception. So for all his faults and his cons, he has many pros, and he is a world-class, maybe not world-class defender, but he could become a world-class defender, and it's no surprise that Juventus was sniffing around after him in the summer. Last but not least, Martin Odegaard, my Arsenal man of the match, not only this week, but last week as well. He set the tone, he set the pace. He covered a ridiculous amount of distance. When Arsenal went 1-0 down, he took the game by the scruff of the neck. He was absolutely fantastic. He was my Arsenal man of the match. He was voted the Arsenal man of the match. And I'd love to know down in the comments below, who was your man of the match for this game? He got 1 goal, 92 touches, 83 passing accuracy, 2 key passes, 2 crosses, 7 long balls, 5 dribbles completed, and 8 duels. That for me is an absolute top beast performance. And he continues to develop this fantastic relationship down the right-hand side with Bukayo Saka. He's not a captain that hides. He really has taken this armband by the scruff of the neck, and he is leading by example. What a performance, in my opinion. So that is going to about wrap things up for today's video. There will be a preview for the midweek game against Aston Villa coming up in the next day or so. So make sure you got that notification bell button on so that you don't miss out. Subscribe if you're new around here. Like the goddamn video as well if you have enjoyed. I've just launched memberships on the channel as well. Whether or not you're just looking to support the channel, or if you fancy getting involved in a live appearance, which is available via one of the membership levels, you might feature on Arsenal Analysed Live. So get amongst it, subscribe, become a member, don't become a member. I value you either way. But that's going to about wrap things up for today's video. I'm JC, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe and take care.